Welcome to the PAC Show, the show that brings you all the highlights, the lowlights, the reviews, the previews, the news, and the interviews from rugby here in Australia and around the world.
We lost every game.
Always need to be heard, these bastards.
What? Punch on! What is happening? Samu Krebe! Samu, how you doing, brother? Hey! What is happening?
In the car.
Yes, the boys. Thank you, everyone.
With the best of friends.
Hilarious.
Yeah, one I won't remember. I will remember.
Yeah, we got him!
Can't be good at it. That's the one thing I'll leave you with.
Happy Wednesday, everyone, and welcome to the PAC Show Live. We are back again for another fantastic Wednesday, celebrating everything that is good, bad, and wonderful in the game of rugby union. I'm joined by the Mr. Starter himself, Joey Lala, fresh from a return to the game we all love. Is that correct?
Look, there's been rumours that I've been training with the boys and can confirm, been training with the boys and it's been good. So good to be back and back to be good.
Yes, thank you, mate.
Thank you, mate. Thank you, mate.
It's not worth it, man.
And the battlers themselves, how are we, lads? You both well?
Hey, man.
Don't know about well, but we're here.
We're here. We are here.
We appreciate you, Das, obviously travelling back from the Gold Coast tonight to be with us. So really
What a
appreciate
hero.
that.
Yeah.
Hey?
Dow, second time, champ. You're back, you're returning.
Yes, obviously.
We're getting rid of J-Ball.
Good to have you, mate.
Later, brother.
See ya.
J-Ball was away last week for a wedding, and this week he's taken an RDO to look after.
Yeah,
the
after that
kids.
CFMEU march today.
They broke a window. There's glass everywhere.
I'd be at the front of the march, I reckon, if I was getting that money.
We're too poor. We're only getting $8,000 a week.
Anyway, sorry.
Hey, we need it.
But lads, what a wonderful weekend of rugby union. On the back of that, we saw some amazing results, but we saw our first Wallaby squad of the year. 33 men picked. Friends, I'll start with you. Talk me through it. What do you think, first and foremost? And then talk me through a winner and a loser from the squad.
I was actually listening to his podcast today, so he hadn't released it, but the team before he's done his podcast. And it was just interesting, the names that were coming up and popping up from Pembroke, and a lot of the names were on there, so which is good. I think there's probably only... Yeah, I'm not going to say... No, I'm not going to say that.
Don't say it. Say it. You've got Joey. You've got Joey excited.
No,
You've already alluded to
I
that, so you
think
might
there's
as well
some like really, really good names in there, and obviously there's a couple of names that I'm a bit upset that they're not on there. But what I like about his team is he sees potential in a couple of people, and he wants to obviously test them, give them a crack, and obviously see if they want it. And if they don't want it, I guess maybe then they're going to be really blacklisted. But at least giving him a crack, which I like. And he was just sort of saying how he wants to see how they perform at that next level when they train from club, from Reds to or wherever to Wallaby. So we'll see. But anyway, my winners.
Yeah, you got to say it. Like,
I thought you wanted me to waffle on a bit longer.
you would have said waffle.
Who was your biggest winner?
Yeah. Good one.
My biggest winner, and we've been talking about him for ages on this show, is Carter Gordon.
Yes.
He's just showing what he's made of week to week at the moment. They're giving him time, and he's just absolutely killing it. I'd love to see him. He's leapfrogged my previous 5/8s for hope, because I didn't think he'd be in this, but now he is. So he's going to take it. We're going to win the World Cup. Losers, our good mate Alex Muffy. I thought he was a bit of a loss. He's been playing some good footy, and he's just a good bloke, good team man, and really like him. And also Corey Toole. He was another one I thought would just be a wild card, has been playing out of his skin, above his weight. I thought he deserved a crack.
So I think Marth obviously really deserves a crack, but I think he's injured. So I think he's been ruled out.
Yeah.
Carter Gordon, obviously, well deserved. He's been the form fly half of the whole tournament so far, in my opinion. And Corey Toole's an interesting one. I think he's prioritised Max Jorgensen over Toole. He likes bigger wingers, so obviously that's why he's kept Vunivalu and the likes in the mix. But I think he's prioritised Max there.
With the Muffy exclusion, I actually don't mind the Jordan Ulysses coming in. I actually rate him. I've rated him, so I'm pretty glad he's there. And he's got an opportunity anyway to prove himself.
Like it. And what about you, Das? What was your thoughts, mate?
I'm not going to say. Big winners, obviously, mate. I don't know if I wouldn't say he's lucky to be in the squad, but Josh Fluke, I don't think he's well earned his posse there. He's just such a solid outside centre. He's just killing at the moment, and that one's definitely on form with Flukey being in, I think. And big omission, who's been playing really well, Harry Wilson. I thought the last 4 or 5 games, even when the Reds aren't performing well, he's one of their top 2-3 players, Harry Wilson, and
Always.
And I think part of the issue of last year, the year before, when Harry would finally get his crack in the Wallabies, would be a team that they've changed 3 or 4 or 5 key players, and it's like, well, we played badly, Harry, you're out again. And I think if he was to be put in that Wallaby team with a full strength team, I think we'd see him carve up again. So I think that's a big omission for me.
I think he's fantastic player, and you never fault his effort. But I just think some of the back rows we've got at the moment are just that little bit more dynamic. But like Rob Valentini, he's the best player almost every week. And you've got like Peter. There's a lot of. I just think there's so much depth there. He's just unfortunate because he stands up every week. Eh? Yeah. He does not shy away from anything.
I think it comes down to the balance of the back row. If you look at Harry, he obviously carries the most out of anyone in that red side, but he does a lot of the shitters as well. His constant work rate in and around the breakdown and defensive efforts is just unbelievable. And I think that dynamicism that you're talking about from the other guys is probably what's rating them a little bit above Harry at the moment. He's probably just that third guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got Rob, and then you got Lungy, and then you got him who's just championing the bit. But I thought, we might lose him to overseas, but from reports that we're getting through, it sounds like he's pretty close to hanging around, which is good news for everyone involved.
Yeah. That would be really good. Be good. Interesting to see how the Reds go if they get new management. Obviously, there's talks about it next year.
Wait, do you know something?
No, not really. I just read the papers. Papers, the news. Made it up, whatever. We're getting a new coach next year. Woo!
Come on now. Maybe if we start the rumour here, maybe we might,
Sorry, Thorny.
start into something.
And what about for you, Joey?
But yeah, no, I quite like the squad. Obviously there's a lot of strengths.
Who's TBC? No, just joke. Shit joke. Carry on.
Hold on. You could say that one, but you wouldn't actually tell us who your omissions or...
No, because it's a positive show. We're keeping things positive. And I'm not going to get negative.
This is Joey's.
From now on?
This is Joey's time.
Yeah, sorry.
Is my mic working? Hello? Testing. Hello?
Joey, continue.
Oh, yeah, continue. Yeah, see, to continue, that's what TV is. I quite like the squad. I quite like the fact that there's a couple of players that are really pushing from some key spots in there in terms of centres, knowing that we've got a couple of players that are out. So for one of my winners I had that I selected was Max Jorgensen. I thought that he's played quite well. Yes. One of the big things that I love about Maxi is just not only his ability to be able to, his talent to play footy, but I think this year we've seen a lot of maturity in regards to a lot of the decisions that he makes on the field, whether he's going to run it and put his body on the line and knowing when to choose contact or knowing when to, you slick draw and pass. And I think his rugby IQ is quite up there. So to see him in this squad, I thought that's awesome to see. And one of the losses or one of the losers that we talk about, I think, is definitely going to be your Hunter Paisamis. I think we are definitely going to we're missing a lot of... Sorry, did something happen?
Is he injured?
He's injured.
Okay.
So he's done his MCL. He's out for 6 weeks, and that's going to be a big loss for the Reds as well. Yeah. But one of the biggest things that Hunter brings and that we're going to miss in these next couple of games, whatever it is that that we're going to have with the Wallabies, is just that intimidation factor in the centre. Because when you're going to be running, through the midfield, you got to be hitting holes, or you're going to get a hole put through you by Hunter. So if you're not going to do that, then that's something that we're going to be missing. And that's, one of the biggest losses that we're going to have.
Yeah, I agree. And I think Max Jorgensen's probably the key one to talk about there is he's got a big future in the game, right? And obviously, they're already talking about extending him and keeping him around. But the maturity he showed as an 18-year-old, firstly winger, now he's made his jersey, that number 15, he's just been outstanding. His decision-making under pressure has been phenomenal. And he's going to continue to develop and evolve as an athlete, but he's been really, really impressive.
Good headache to have at 15, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a bit of depth there now. We didn't really
know who we were
going to pick, and then us collectively.
What about you, Dal?
It's an interesting one for me. He talks about picking on form, you know what I mean, and players pick themselves. So obviously the majority of that squad I think did, and I think there's no real surprises. But there's a few that I thought were a little bit, you know what I mean, how you going. But I think like you touched on, friends, maybe it's based around he sees, something in them, and he feels like maybe bringing them into his environment, he can get the most out of them. So Suliasi Vunivalu was probably the biggest winner for me out of everyone. Like, he's a wonderful athlete, and we've seen him across, the NRL and at test level now, and we've seen glimpses of it in Super Rugby, but, he just looks like he doesn't get out of third gear anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's just a trust of the body thing or because of the injuries that have built up, but he looks like he needs to just open up and be free. So I'd love to see him obviously come good. But for the biggest loser was probably Tatey McDermott. He's been a part of the system now for a very long time, and I don't know how many times he has to keep proving himself at that level. You know what I mean? On the weekend, he was out.
What does he do wrong?
Don't know. On the weekend he was outstanding against the Crusaders, and they'll take 3 9s to the World Cup just with all the protocols in and around head knocks, etc. But he's one I think is just it makes for a really good week. Brumbies play the Reds up in Queensland. Watch for the Reds to come out and really be firing. But there's a lot of positions now where it becomes personal, and maybe that's what Eddie's doing. Maybe he's trying to create a little bit more competition amongst the players, the Valentinis, the Wilsons, the McDermotts, the Lonigans, the Whites. All that kind of stuff starts to play into it. But there
was one interesting thing on his potty about the Brumbies. He obviously hasn't selected it by that point, but the Waratahs Brumbies game, he goes, this is going to be a massive selection game, and to see how they go against each other, blah blah blah. So that's I think he is. I think that's what he's doing.
And he's playing games.
Emotional terrorism. Perfect.
So, moving on from that, obviously there's been a large range of re-signings all across the country, but mainly here in Queensland. We've had some exciting ones in the last couple of days. We've had Tommy Liner, Harry Wilson, you know what I mean, talking about that. Suliasi Vunivalu as well as, in the last couple of days, Angus Blythe, confirmed, Sarah Uru confirmed. It seems to be that, Queensland in itself is starting to keep a lot of players. Das, what do you put it down to?
I think them just coming together as a team. Like, they went through last year and the year before with quite a few blokes leaving, and there was in a bit of disarray. I think they've had to come together as a team, and they're all buying into it. They're all loving playing footy. I don't know if they see obviously they're all seeing the future in Australia for rugby. So, and they're going back to Ballymore, right? Isn't it? Back to Ballymore.
Back to Ballymore?
Right?
Come on now.
It's a good squad. Like, all they need is a couple of key signings, and they're back in the mix, I reckon. Like, for the team they've got at the moment, they're punching above their weight. I reckon they're doing well. Yeah, in my opinion.
But how much, Frings, do you reckon plays into it, the fact that there's the golden decade of rugby union ahead of us that they're talking about between now and the Olympic Games in 2032, and the redevelopment of Ballymore? I mean, in the first phase, as you are very much aware, being in the construction game, it's nearing completion. Obviously, and there's a lot more to go into that. But how much does that play into it for the players?
I think it would play into it a lot. The facilities are going to be better. It'll be a bit more of a... It's not that it's going to be a chore going there at the moment, but they're working out of a bloody shed, super hot. You got all these awesome facilities. They've got a good group of. They're all quite young as well. So, like I said, I reckon they only need a couple more key signings. Maybe there's some in the works that no one knows about yet, and they've got that carrot dangled in front of them. I'm not sure, but I reckon like if they can stick together, I reckon under a good coach, like I don't know, a Hino or whatever. They'll bit of a revamp in energy around the place, especially with the new facilities.
And brings me to my next point. I wanted to ask you on this one, Joey. If you were the Queensland Reds administration and you had one position to fill and you could pick one player, who would you sign?
Jeez.
What's the key position for them, you think, now and moving forward in the next couple of years, and who would it be? Open checkbook.
Right. To be honest, I actually don't know. I think they've got the team there now, and it's just a matter of just bringing that team environment, that team element, like bringing the boys together, that camaraderie that we talk about. Mm-hmm. And I think, when you look back in previous Reds teams, like you look at how everybody was, best mates. And I'm not too sure, I can't speak on behalf of what's going on in those sheds, but I think that's one of the biggest things that I would put it down to would be the team culture, and not just the playing culture, but the management culture as well, and what that looks like, and filtrating all the way through from the top through to the bottom. Real shit. So, yeah, back to you in the studio. Wait, we're in the studios. Yeah. Joking.
And over the weekend, we obviously saw the Hong Kong Sevens. You know, our great mate Sione was up there having a whale of a time. Obviously, the women claiming second and the men 11th. Obviously, the girls just nearly got there. The men will be very disappointed with their result. But, Friends, you watched it with a keen eye. You know, how do you think the girls went?
Very good, very good. Obviously, the Kiwis and Aussie in the finals again. Just got pipped, unfortunately, but it looked like a lot of fun. Had a lot of FOMO that I wasn't there. Been there a couple of times when I was a bit younger, and Jesus, good week. But yeah.
It is, and it brings us to our guest for this week, the wonderful Maddi and Teagan Levi. Girls, welcome back to Australia. How was Hong Kong, and how are you both feeling?
Yeah, it was really good. Like, the atmosphere is so good. South Stands definitely lived up to its name, that's for sure.
And how was the? Yeah, go on, Teagan.
We're feeling okay. I'm a bit sick. I've been sick after being away, and that last night definitely got to me.
Did you enjoy Lang Kwai Fong? How was that? Did you enjoy it? Did you make the most of it?
Yeah, definitely. Joe Bananas was going off at some stage too, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember much after Joe Bananas, but I'm sure it was a great night.
Who was the biggest pest?
Straight into it. Who was the biggest pest?
Who was the biggest pest on tour, in the team and outside the team? I think I might know who the outside of the team was.
Outside the team, it's kind of hard to beat Chainsaw. He was wild. He's definitely going to be worst on ground. Someone needs to put him on a leash.
He is something else. He's definitely something.
Yeah, we had to say it was with the New Zealand girls. I was like, I don't know him.
Persistence overrides resistance with that fella.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. It's kind of hard. Like, Tom Carter wasn't on tour to be the pest on tour, so we'd also say each other, like, I think we annoy the shit out of each other more times out of 10. So it's kind of hard to have another pest when you've got one that lives with you 24/7.
But I want to touch on that for you girls. Obviously, it's been a breakout 12 months for the both of you. You've both been in exceptional form. What's it like, living together, going out training together, doing this whole big journey together, as sisters? How's that been?
I think it's such a good experience. Like, as you touched on, like, we're going to these awesome countries and we get to experience, like, everything together, and, like, not with just your friends, but, like, your sister who you've done everything with. It's pretty good. Like, people go, like, you guys must love each other and you do everything together. But, like, as I said, like, we definitely get on each other's nerves, that's for sure. But I wouldn't have it any other way. And living with Teagues in Sydney, it's good because we can just go to the other sides of our house and just not talk to each other for 2 hours and not have to worry about if the other's okay.
She definitely gets on my nerves. The worst is when you go on tour and you go from living with each other
and then get
roommates on tour. So that's the worst. We've had that a few times.
I think they've learnt their lesson now. Every time we get put as roommates, we do the old barter and swap with someone. Like, so who wants to put up with Teagan for the week?
And then obviously,
why is it always me?
I was going to say that. Who is the worst roommate that you've been on tour with, and why?
Well, I'm pretty lucky. I normally just get put with Charlotte. It's normally just Charlotte and I in a room.
So it's Charlotte.
Charlotte's been worse.
So it's Charlotte. There you go. It's done.
Yeah, so, no.
I haven't been with too many bad roomies. They're actually all pretty good and we're all pretty comfortable with each other.
I think it's good, like, the culture in the team we have, and, like, everyone gets around each other and everyone's got good banter and everyone's got, like, a good personality. So it's like, you can't really, like, fault anyone when you're paired with them as roommates. We said, like, on tour, we actually don't care who we get put with because everyone's good value.
Oh, how good that?
Girls, the after is the connection to the Gold Coast Suns and AFLW, is that still in the future, or
Spicy.
or is there something you girls want to achieve in sevens, or?
Yeah, that's still in the future, but I'd love to win a gold medal, hopefully, at the Olympic Games. That's definitely a goal of mine and probably ours. And that's a big goal for our team. We obviously qualified for the Olympics, so that's one of them ticked off. But yeah, we're straight back into training today and tomorrow before we get a couple of days off.
Back into the crane.
Yeah, and like we're still. Yeah, no, definitely today there was
some head noise.
Yeah. I'm still a little bit noisy, but yeah, no, definitely still tied to the Suns. Like they've done so much for us, so to go back and play for them would be like good for how much they've helped us. But then obviously like being a dual international is something not many people can say. So to look at like the 15s pathways or even NRLW in their World Cups at the moment, it's just pretty cool to see women's sport. So we might try a few others and see what happens and where it leads us to. Can't complain.
And I think that's probably the most exciting thing that you guys have now and moving forward is the ability to do a couple of codes and to move into the 15s game. So let's just talk about the 15s game, firstly, just being in rugby. Where do you guys kind of see yourselves playing, in the 15s, in the 15s sport? You know what I mean? And when do you think, that would kind of suit you guys?
To be fair, probably anywhere on the edge.
Get the old fend out.
Yeah, a bit of fendy. Yeah.
I don't know, maybe half or there's fullback, right? Yeah, fullback. I don't really watch too much.
Yeah, is this live or can we
We'll edit all this out.
What's the at the moment the New Zealand girls just kind of seem to have the wood on you guys. What's happening at the moment? How are they just sort of edging you guys out of the tournaments at the moment with such a good last year?
Yeah, I guess like we've had that last year, and then this year we've brought like a lot of new experience as well into our team. So looking into our future, like obviously we want to win games right now, and we're just like so close in that, and we're always in those games. So I think having that, but bringing on that new experience and getting everyone to gain, I think, as I say experience a lot, but that's something they do have over us. Our average age is around 22, 23 with Shani. So we're such a young team, and I think you can't buy experience.
I think they're just really good at holding on to the ball as well. Like at the moment, they're just phasing us out, and we're not respecting the ball when we get it. So we're defending really hard, and when we get the ball, we just don't respect it enough to score tries.
They do
but
have a good
Olympics next year.
Yeah, they do have a good mix of experience, and they've been playing for a long time together. Do you guys get along with them?
Yeah, some.
Yeah, some.
It's
I like
kind of
it.
hard.
No,
It's
we
kind of
do.
like
we do.
they're our neighbours. Like we've got the closest rivalry with the girls. So like it's kind of hard, but we're obviously off the field. Like we're quite lovely, but New Zealand's probably our team, and New Zealand probably are the most distant teams on the circuit.
At
I'd
Joey
say.
Bananas as a feel. You got a problem with your eyes, G? across the bar, you reckon?
Yeah, a bit of like throwing out. Yeah. The coaches were out too, so we're trying to take him from the top, like, trying to like get all their tactics, like steal them all.
Girls, every team has one. Every team has that player when the coach calls for righto, we're doing fitness. Everyone line up. They always call for the shin splints. They call for the ankle injuries. Who in your squad would
Probably
be?
me.
Probably you. There you go. At least you put your hand up.
No, the team would probably say me, I'd say. I do but my shoulder's sore, but we're running, so I don't know how I can have
Always
sore
come
shoulder
good on
when
game day though, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
She's done one good hit, and her shoulder has been sore since.
I just had a tackle in Vancouver, and I had to stop complaining, and I keep getting in trouble.
No, definitely Maddi. Maddi's up there.
Yeah. I don't know, who else? Who else is always on the massage bed? I'd probably take that crown too.
You score the most tries, so you can sort of do what you want. Just drop me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If I don't sit down this conditioning set, I'm not kidding. I'll be good.
In saying that though, I always do them all. Like I don't.
I thought you were gonna say who's always the one in the conditioning at the end, and I was gonna put my hand up. Say my name is always thrown around in that.
Teagues could honestly run a marathon in training, and Tom would be like, "All right, Teagues on the edge, let's go, half gasser." But in fairness,
but at the time, it's definitely not.
In fairness, she also just made her first dream team, so it's obviously paying
Oh,
off.
congratulations.
Methods, madness to his methods work.
Because I wanted to touch on,
I think
obviously,
that's the same.
Tom Carter.
close enough.
He's well renowned for putting you guys through absolute hell, and he's done a terrific job in getting you all into shape. But what's it like, being underneath him?
I think we take the piss out of him a lot, but we obviously can't thank him enough. He's honestly such a good S&C, and I don't think he'd have anyone more suited to the job, to be fair.
Things he hears and the things that we do around him, I don't think he could go back to a normal life, to be fair.
Is this Tom Carter from the Waratahs?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
the strength and conditioning guy.
I mean, he's a bit of a menace himself, so I reckon he's knows everything and nothing can get past him either.
He bites a lot too, and so the banter just goes back and forth until he's got the upper hand and he can make us run laps. So then it kind of stops pretty soon. But yeah, no, he definitely
There's only one person in our team that scares him, and that's Charlotte.
Oh, right.
Ooh, wow.
Okay.
Good intel.
And then,
Well, that's what I say to him all the time.
and then what about obviously coming from a different sport into the sevens game? You've got Tim Walsh there, obviously extremely successful as a coach in his own right, but how's he influenced you both, to get to where you are?
Yeah, good. He's a massive believer in things, and in us playing. I think if it wasn't for him, I wasn't getting many minutes when I first joined, and when he started, he had a bit of faith in me and put me on, and after probably about 5 drop balls later, I decided that I was actually quite comfortable and quite experienced. So he saw what I didn't see in myself, which was really good. And same with Teagues. He's really taken us under his wing, and he so knowledgeable. But then also same with the girls that we play with, like Shani and Charlotte. So just learnings from all those girls and all our experienced coaches, and having Ches as an assistant coach too. Teaching us the games of sevens and that there's no fullback in sevens, but she's definitely
Sweeper.
Who's that? I play sevens.
It's the same thing. Don't worry.
No, it's normally me that asks the silly questions, so it's good to have one up on her now on Run TV.
Maddie, when was the time you realised that you could just run around everyone? Was it during the Aeon series where you just
the time that she remembered that she could catch a ball first.
Oh, okay, got to catch it first.
No, I don't know. Even now, I still doubt myself sometimes, or we'll run and we'll train against Ches, and Ches will jump on the other team, and she'll after training come up to me and she goes, I don't know if you're trying to boost my confidence, but you hit every short ball off me and didn't try run around me once.
conserving
He's
your energy.
trying to teach me. Yeah, I was just waiting for nah. Even when we versus boys too, it gives a lot of confidence when I can run around some of them. So I think we played against one team down here, and I ran around them, and all the boys were oh, is your hemi okay? Or what'd you do? You get stepped or what? And he was like, she's faster. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I can give you a few of my cars. Shoulder. Yeah.
Well, girls, one thing we do every time we get people on is we do a quick 5 questions. So we'll go with both of you, all right? Alternating questions.
Oh, God.
Okay. Nice and quick.
Okay.
First thing that comes to your mind. First question is, if you could select any athlete from any other sport in the world to come and join your team, who would it be?
Oh, shit, no, that's not good. We're not going to be very fast.
You've got to be fast.
One each. Quick, one each.
Okay, I think Ellie McKenzie or someone from the AFL, just because we've transferred, so it'd be pretty cool to see someone else that is up the top of the AFL game to come and play sevens.
I don't know. From any sport.
Any sport. Sprinters, anyone.
Sally Pearson.
What?
There we go.
There we go.
She could hurdle over people. That'll do.
How she could go.
Yeah, that's true.
She'd be quick. She'd run around you.
Yeah, definitely. Sit me on my bum.
Career highlights so far?
Winning the Triple Crown.
Definitely the Triple Crown and the accolades that I received last year was pretty special.
Amazing. Favorite teammate?
You can't say your
Teague.
sister.
You just said she wasn't.
I was like, shit, you're not mine.
I like this. This is good. Spicy.
Alicia, yeah. I'm probably closest with Charlotte in the team, so I'll have to go Charlotte.
Perfect. Least favorite teammate?
Respectfully.
Can't see each other.
Respectfully.
Teagan.
Can't say each other.
Respectfully, at least.
Respectfully.
Oh, no.
Wow, you're going to put like a...
No, no.
Our group's going to be divided now.
No, just I know someone who's a pest or
Yeah, can we
eats
say-
all
yeah.
the food or
Faith Monera, just because she's like my little sister. Oh, actually, no. Soraya Pucky eats all your food.
There you go.
Wow, there you go.
You
got
can't
there?
leave anything around. Oh,
borrows your stuff, things like that.
yeah, love you, Soraya. But yeah, no, even she stole one of the boys' Powerades the other week, and we're like, did you get mixed up? Did you bring one? She goes, oh no, just was in the fridge. I was like, oh.
Just first day.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
just
say
hide-
Faith,
just hide her
Faith
in.
Monera because she's like a sister to us.
Okay, perfect. And then finally, who's had the biggest influence in your career so far?
Well, that's a good one. Well, my dad seems to think he's had a lot of influence. he starts to pipe up. So, my father. No. Biggest influence, probably Walshy because he believed in me and backed me. So, and John Menandy as well. He saw something in me and took me to the Olympics, and that started my sevens career. So those two probably had the biggest influence in my career.
I think Tom Carter, he's got me fit and to where I am today. I wouldn't be able to be running on the field. I'm the sub that got subbed at the Com Games, so that's
her
what I
nickname.
always get told. So yeah, he's one of them.
Thank you, girls. That's
Sub that
amazing.
got subbed. She got brought on.
We obviously love what you guys are doing. You're doing a terrific job for not only yourselves, but for the country in itself. And obviously it's a big couple of years now and moving forward. And we wish you all the best. And we love, obviously, watching you all excel. So thank you very much for jumping on tonight.
Well done, girls.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, girls.
Outstanding.
Oh, good.
Yeah, phenomenal athletes. Terrific people.
Teagan would only be like 19 or 20 or maybe even just 19 and Maddie's not much older.
Nah, they got a big future ahead of them, and I think those two. If you look at it now and moving forward, obviously Charlotte's been, you know what I mean, front and center for a long time now, but they're the future, and they're changing the game, and you know just the development that Teagan's had over the last 12 months to go out there on the
Totally
weekend.
different players too.
That's right.
Yeah,
and it's pretty cool to watch.
And
They're
it's-
evolving.
It's scary to think that they're cross code, like they're
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
from another code
Yeah.
and then jumping into
Just you do
sevens
it
and onto the world
last 2 years.
circuit. It's just like that's phenomenal.
Is no one going to bring it up when Dal asked, "What's it like being under Tom Carter?"
yeah, and we're just looking
Is
at
that
each other.
what-
I was
literally
trying
just
to
gone,
A lot of
pause.
eyeball being
Hey,
shot. You
hey.
just look dead ahead.
I was
Did
trying-
you realise what he said?
I was trying to be professional, mate. Yeah, I mucked up, but they were professional.
Me and friends were like, Joey's like, whoa.
Yeah, it was a good one.
They knew what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good one. You came back from it. It was good. The composure.
Get on with it.
I can answer it.
Yeah.
It's delightful. Rock my world, bro.
Yeah.
God,
Anyway,
he's fit.
they were
Jeez, he's fit, isn't he?
outstanding, phenomenal. Moving on.
If you want
Tipping. I think you guys are just ahead still.
Easily.
Easily.
Yeah, man. We went with...
This week, let's roll
Do
through
you have it?
Do we have the graphic?
I've got it. I'll find it here.
Oh,
Oh, what a cop-out.
jeez. It's getting better or worse? I don't know.
much
Why is
better.
my head so much bigger than yours, Free?
Because he wanted to get my neck in, which is as thick as
That's
my
true.
head.
Yeah, that takes
So
up.
Crusaders v Moana.
Poor
In
Moana.
New-
Moana, no. God,
So you got
poor boys.
Crusaders.
It's so It's so unfortunate with Moana because, you know what I mean? Like, they've got such a good thing going and they just can't. Like, Drua has kicked and they've become a real force, but unfortunately Moana are just, and it's kind of...
It's the second year. Aaron Major was saying the other day it's one of those things. It's not going to happen over a couple of years. You know, it's a bit of a slow burner.
That's right.
And hopefully they stick around.
Yeah.
People have faith
Give
in
more
them and
chance.
builds it up. And then what happens to the Pacific Island nations is what we want. You know, we want it to go up.
That's right.
Yeah.
Game of the week, I reckon. Reds versus Brumbies. Lots to play for here. Lots of positions up. Wallaby squads.
This would
World
be,
Cup squads.
This is exactly why I reckon he's put a fire up a few of the boys. See how they go this weekend. I'm going to this game.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
So you reckon that's why he didn't put those Reds boys in the team? They're playing for spots now.
They're just a few head highs, I reckon. If they can't get it in, just
Reds make some big changes.
yeah.
You got Crichton to start at fly half. You got Francis Suliciosi to start at tight head.
Yep.
You know what I mean? There's a bit going on there.
I called the James O'Connor, didn't I?
Yeah,
I
you
did call it. I basically
What?
I don't know. Someone that can predict the future.
So
That Romanian lady.
You guys are going Brumbies.
Yep. Gone Brumbies.
Hurricanes, Highlanders. Highlanders at home.
Gonna get smoked.
Ooh, interesting. I reckon the Highlanders are running hot. They're starting to find their
They're going to
feet.
get better.
Yeah.
They're getting better, but I
Yeah.
reckon Hurricanes are a good side.
Yeah, they
Hurricanes
are.
are a very good side.
And then Rebels v Blues. Interesting. You've gone the Rebels.
Did we?
I did.
That can't be right. I don't remember.
I chose this.
We went the Rebels.
Yeah.
So,
No, they're coming back. Carter Gordon's going to steal the ship by 10 points.
10 points. Wow, that's massive.
Vote a try at +3.
it's massive, Dal. You said it, bro.
And Joey, this week.
Yeah. We went with the Crusaders on this one. Definitely. I think just the way that they performed last weekend against the Reds, I just think that they might have a bit more class than Moana this weekend. So, and that just since it's experience as well. So, yeah, Crusaders this weekend.
Reds v Brumbies, big week.
Yeah, look, I'm going to have to stay faithful. I reckon I'm going to go with the Reds this weekend. Like we said.
If it's going to happen, it has to happen this weekend.
It has to happen this
kick.
weekend, especially against the Brumbies at home on Good Friday.
Can happen.
It can happen. It will happen. So
Can happen,
yeah.
will happen.
Because on Good Friday did he rise? What happened?
No, I think he died.
Palm?
didn't
He died.
He died on Good Friday. And he rose on Easter Sunday, didn't he?
Who's
That's the
playing
one.
Sunday then?
I'm not
Unsure.
I'm not a
No,
very,
you're the one who goes to church.
I'm not a very good Catholic.
God, my son, listen. Nah.
Is that right? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good Friday.
I wasn't very confident.
Nudgy, Terrace. Nothing. Is that 200 grand?
Highlanders Hurricanes.
Yeah. I reckon the Highlanders will do it. I watched the game against I think it was the Hurricanes last week against the Force, and they started off strong. They started out quite quick, and then I think the Force clawed their way back into it to make it a what was it?
2 points,
45-42 at the end of the game. So, yeah, I think the Highlanders might get over them this weekend as well.
And then finally Rebels Blues.
Yeah, I wanted to say Rebels, but I reckon the Blues are going to be a bit stronger this weekend.
Well, you just want them to come play for West, mate.
Yeah, true. This weekend.
All right, into our Super W. We've got 3 games this weekend. Reds v Brumbies. We'll go with you, Ryan Freeney.
This is going to be a cracker.
It is. It's going to be a big game.
Like I said before with the Waratahs and the Brumbies game, that was so physical, and the Reds have not had a test this year whatsoever physically with their trials and all that sort of stuff. So this will be a cracker of a game. That's been said, Queensland have got some good recruits. I'm going to stick with the Reds this week just because I went against them in the males.
Oh,
What do you reckon?
sound logic.
No, but I reckon they, yeah, they'll be. I reckon they're going to win. It's going to be a tough one. Very
Ditto,
close.
Dal. Ditto.
Ditto. And the game of the round, this has been absolute monster. Waratahs versus your team, Das, the Drua.
Yep.
Fijiana.
I'm off the drawer. Tars to win, I reckon.
Oh,
I just
Jeez,
wasn't.
you jump quick. You
I'm
jump
off him,
quick.
right? That doesn't take anything. It's as if I'm just making it up. I just don't think the Drua are the same team as they were last year. I just think the
Literally,
Tars
yeah.
just have too
More
many,
grunt.
too much excitement out there, I think.
All right, and then another big game. You know what I mean? Local derby almost. Rebels versus the Western Force, Joey. Who you taking?
Rebels v Western Force. I'm going to have to go with the Rebels.
Rebels.
Yeah,
Too strong, too big.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, they've done some recruiting in the off season, and so I think that their recruitment's going to do a bit well this weekend. So yeah, against the Force.
Fantastic. And results from last week. I'm not sure how well you did, Das, in the Shoot Shield with your tips from last week.
Ryan as well, to be honest. I think we got 1 from 7,
One from seven. West Harbour beat the Sydney Two Blues. South beat Gordon. Eastern Suburbs beat Eastwood.
Should pick that.
North beat Sydney Uni.
course
That was
they
a
did.
tough one.
Flogged them.
Right? That one was hard to pick.
Hunter
Yeah.
Wildfires, 27 being Knight.
I didn't think they were
Manly,
going to beat
19.
Manly.
And Ramwick over Ringa.
We got the
Up the
we got the
Gallopers.
Wicks.
I'm going to give you another shot at this, Das. You got round 2. Obviously, no QPR this weekend, but what we do have is Shoot Shield on a
Yes.
wonderful Good Friday. Hunter Wildfires versus Randwick. Who you picking?
Where's that?
Man. Both
Newcastle.
are wins.
It's at Newcastle.
Oh, Wick.
Wick.
Wicks.
I'm with you. Up the Gallopers.
Yeah. They're the Gallopers? Seems like Jeeps. I'm like, bro, they're not playing.
Right, mate. Get a bit of Sydney Shoot Shield.
Warringah
info,
versus
mate.
Sydney Uni.
How does
Cool.
Sydney Uni... got to go Sydney Uni.
Sydney Uni. Back 'em.
I reckon the Warringah. But anyway.
Well, still, I'll just keep
Yeah, keep going.
Eastern Suburbs versus West Harbour. Dion Spice was very good for
We're
us.
going Eastern Suburbs.
Oh, like it. They won on the bell last week against Eastwood.
I love on the bell.
North versus South. The battle of the North and the South.
Yeah. Extremities. North versus South. The
Norths.
Equator Cup.
Norths.
Norths. Definitely Norths.
Yeah. Easy.
Eastwood
Easy.
Eastwood versus Manly.
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 And finally, the Two Blues
Up the Two Blues.
host Gordon.
Gordon, there's trouble at Gordon, mate.
There's
I'm telling you.
trouble at
Ooh.
Gordon. There's
There's
trouble
trouble at
brewing at
What
Gordon.
do you know that we don't?
Well, they don't have a coach, do they? Or did he go back? So the boys are just all, respectfully, good luck, boys. But I think until they get a coach, they'll be right come round 4, but not this one.
He didn't
Two
ask
Blues.
you. Two Blues.
Eric Twidale Stadium at Parramatta. Don't travel well out there. No one does. It's like going to the Goldie. Bit of inside information, boys.
I think it's Tool McGrammer up the hill, and you're like, oh, the bus doesn't make it.
It's all
It
foggy.
rains down. And then you go, we're playing Downlands? What are we even doing?
Who are they?
Why?
Who are they?
Why are we playing Downlands?
How do they beat us?
And we lost? Yeah, but they beat Ashgrove. You're like, who cares? Anyway, it's hot in here.
And we saw some outstanding individual performances over the weekend. Some really, really wonderful performances. 2023 rugbies for the weekend was Joey. Who was yours first up?
Mine was all the way from the ACT, Len Ikitau. I thought he had a phenomenal game with 1 try, 15 carries, and 2 defenders beaten. I thought that was quite phenomenal. But even
In
just
40
this
minutes of
effort
footy.
Here, just this effort here of like literally chasing down, making that pilfer, and getting the penalty back. Man, I thought that was phenomenal just to stand up for your team in those crucial moments, especially when you're 7-0 down in the first 15.
I love him.
He's the man.
And he had a big week, right? First
Yeah.
baby on the way, had
Yeah.
his birthday,
Yeah.
re-signed with Rugby Australia, and then he puts in a performance like this in 40 minutes of rugby. Unbelievable.
He's a freak.
What a week.
He's a freak. But then not only that, even just score his own try. And I don't know if we've got that clip here, but just being able to stay alive in this play and even just nothing doing, but just coming through the middle there and just regathering. I think he's going to offer what we're missing in the Wallaby
A
squad.
very well-rounded player.
Maturing too.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
maturing. That's right.
Yeah.
He's getting his dad's strength. He's
That's
finding his
it, mate.
feet.
Yeah.
He's doing a terrific job. And for you, Mr. Ryan Freeney.
Oh. Who could go past? Who could go past James Slipper on the weekend?
He's
Last year was one of his best years. This year,
He's better.
he's even better.
Come on,
better up.
He is unstoppable, and he's going to be 40 and still doing this, mate. I love him.
Wait,
he
isn't
was
40 now?
a bee's dick away.
Look at this. Balls!
Wow.
The Beagles.
He was
He's
Jeez,
his
their
second
short
try.
strides, aren't they? His hammies must be
No,
tiny.
he's fine, mate.
They are thickening up.
Look
with
at him
that.
just hitting holes.
Striding out. I
hitting
love
holes
it.
at 36. Whatever. He looks better than he ever has.
He
Yeah.
does. He's in great form. He
He's-
was a bee's dick away from getting a hat trick.
Mate.
Yeah.
He's And he's scrummaging well. He's leading from the front, mate. What can he not do? Chuck him in the centres, I reckon. Look at this. Bosh!
No step. Didn't look like stepping.
Poor
Didn't
Marky
need to.
Mark just didn't want to see that coming at him. Did not want to see it. Look at him. Look how happy he is. Anyway, I'm excited.
And
I've
so
got
you
this.
should be. What a performance. You know what I mean?
Mate, coming to a World Cup,
Yeah.
you know, he's just leading from the front. He's a doer, and he's just silent assassin. And like I said, he's going to play till he's 40.
That's that. Some of those old heads like Slips and stuff. For me, I think that's kind of what the Reds are missing. They just need that tough, no nonsense older guy that's just going to do his job, like to build that platform, do that first phase stuff. And I just think the Reds, Joey, if we were going to buy any players, I think front rowers.
Yeah.
For me,
Yeah.
We're going to miss
Slips. Get Slips.
Miller.
Bring him back.
I think
back to Ballymore.
just on that, Penny
We got Tony L2, by the way.
Ravai's made a big difference. He played well on the weekend. He's hard.
You see the size of him?
He's
Oh, he's thick.
I
Yeah,
walked
yeah.
past him the other day. I was like,
That's a platform, that's for sure. I'll give him that.
he's jacked.
Yeah.
Speaking of Fijians,
Yeah, mate.
yours, Das,
Yes.
our man Tavita Ikanaviri.
Oh, he got it. He
Got
got
it.
it. Joey, you
Yeah,
taught
right.
him well. For me, playing as a hooker, the way he plays just like epitomizes the way like Fijian rugby should be played. He's not a small bloke. Some of his tiptoeing down the sideline, the offloads. He's doing the tough stuff in D, but he just the way he plays, he just
Silky, eh?
I just love it, man. He's
Look at that.
just, but him, I think he does one, yeah. Like just the little offloadies, mate. It's just the way he plays.
Last week he
He's
made
Fijian
that.
rugby.
He made that break, and they unfortunately called it a forward pass. But
The throw back in.
he's one of the best getting around. I reckon.
I think so.
Probably the best running hooker as well at
Yeah.
the moment, in my opinion.
love
Whatever
him.
that's worth.
He's leading
Big
from the
thing-
front.
Big
Does a
things,
terrific job.
World Cup year coming up.
Yeah, and they're looking good.
They are. Like you start pinpointing all these Fijian blokes, and you're like, and that's just.
That's not even the guys in France.
Yeah, I know,
That's
so
right.
that's not even.
We're all dead.
Bring them over.
But what they do
And I
have
love
is
it.
they've got this ability now that they're playing together, a lot of them who aren't the superstar players, but they're back together. They're playing on
Yep.
the island.
Yeah.
They're galvanised.
Yeah.
They've
Yes.
got 24 months of rugby underneath them. It's
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they don't lose at home. They may
Also-
never lose again.
Also, commenting on mate, that crowd yet again. Like even kicking for goals. They're just like sometimes when you're at Suncorp, you're like, oh, did they get that kick? I didn't actually see what happened. But over there, they're just watching the game. They're all about it. Everything. Ball goes into touch. They're screaming. Just that atmosphere.
And Kevin Foote made the point during the week. He said, it doesn't matter how well you prepare. He said, we had the most unreal, preparation. And as soon as we got there to the game, it was just a completely different environment.
That's Australian teams playing in front of crowds.
Yes.
Whoa, whoa.
We don't know what to do.
There's so many people. It's pressure.
Well, that's what Eddie
This isn't
Jones-
live, is it?
Oh, who was it? Brumbies versus Rebels or something the other week, or Waratahs versus Rebels, and it was a cracker of a game. Rebels won, or it might have been the Reds, and there's like 5,000 people in the stadium in Melbourne. He's like, how are we going to solve this? Anyway, that's
It's true.
Not here.
And for me, it was Lalakai Feketi. I think, we talked about 12s before. You talk about, Hunter Paisami and the like. I think he's just developed so much over the last 12 months. And he, for me, is starting to become one of the premier centres in the competition. He's everywhere. He backs up all the time. But it's his brutality on either side of the ball. But then his finesse with little short kicks, getting out of trouble. And his short passing game's developed a whole heap as well.
That's what he's done this season for sure. Like he used to just do that brutal inside lines, but now it's
Little
having
tips.
the confidence to do those offloads as well. And
him and Nicky Tell pair up very well.
Yeah,
together.
absolutely they do.
100%.
He's
He's
very
just strong in
unassuming.
the-
He's
yeah.
not a massive player, but he's always everywhere. He smacks people. He runs hard, and he's got soft hands, and I love him.
He's a big part of that Waratahs setup, and he's starting to really galvanise that back line. And I think he's
Is he young? Is he quite young as well?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'd be lying if I
I think he
said
might
I
be
knew.
24.
I thought 24, but
Yeah, I could have made that up too, but
yeah. Some
Sorry.
wonderful performances anyway, Das.
yeah.
Anyway, I think that basically wraps us up for this week, unless you got something you want to say, Das?
Ryan, my friend Brian, and I would like to apologise for the
Thank you.
for the lack of Battler's bench tonight.
because obviously, as we know, as much as everyone loves listening to myself and Joey and our good
Brian.
mate, our good mate who can't be with us tonight.
Him who shall not be named. Don't talk
Yeah,
about
looks
Tino
like-
like that.
The main reason,
was,
the main reason they come and tune is to hear from our wonderful athletes that join us, and we get to discuss their lives and their careers. But it's to see you guys.
Yeah. Look, I had nothing this week. I'll be purely honest. Darcy, what have you got this
what's new?
Yeah, true.
I,
It was,
Dal, I didn't say it, friend. Are we doing it here? Are we doing this now? Is this
at least I turned up, boys.
big things next week, Dal?
Big
That's
things
all.
next week.
Big things next week. don't
Throwing
you
it
worry.
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Wonderful. Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to our new YouTube page, the PAC Rugby Show, and on our Instagram handle below, screen, like, comment, and follow. Also, as Darcy let us know last week, you can find us on
Spotify, just anything as the podcast format.
podcast
Well done.
format.
Yep.
Find us there. But again, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate all your support.